So you're playing this Fishing Planet game, you catch a fish, and oh my goodness, I hit level 3! And yeah, I know devs, you want me to buy stuff. But what is all this stuff that just unlocked? Hey Les chap, what am I supposed to buy? What am I supposed to do? I'm so confused. Well, maybe you're level 3, or just hit level 3 like me, and you're trying to figure that out. Or maybe you're, level 15, level 20, trying to figure out how to use these lures, how to do all the presentation techniques. Don't worry, I got you. Hold on 1 minute. So you're level 3, first thing you need to do, you need to leave Texas. Yes, I want to leave. Tells you what you got, and now you travel to the global shop. This is the global shop. It has pretty much everything in the game. First thing you want to do is open up tools and equipment right here. Now, if you have not bought the Fish Hut S, make sure you go and buy that. Total fish weight is almost twice the one that you buy in the tutorial, and you can catch a 3-pound fish. The other two things you're going to want here is this old denim jacket. This will allow you to carry 5 more hooks, 5 more baits, 5 more lures, and will let you carry an extra set of line. So you buy it, and because you have nothing already equipped, it equips it for you. You're also going to want to buy this Hobby Gear rod keeper or rod case. This will allow you to carry 2 rods on your inventory every time you travel the lake, and it automatically equips because I don't have a rod keeper currently right now. Now you're going to want to go over here to rods. You have 3 options. You have the Telefloat. It says I already have a Telefloat equipped. You have the Value Cast 6'6" SE, but that's bait coins, and we do not have enough bait coins. Then there's this Value Spin 6'3". This is the one you're going to want to buy at level 3. If you're higher, you're going to want to buy the Value Spin 7'6" or the Value Spin 8'6" here. This is the best one in the Value Spin series. But we're only level 3. This is the only one you can get the Value 6'3". Buy that, and it's equipped. We're going to go over here to lines, and we only have 4 reels available. We got the Mini Spin 800, which we have equipped, and it only allows a max drag of 2.75. We have the Callisto XSR. It lets you do a 3-pound drag, 27-inch repeal. This is 3.4s, and if you look at the difference between these two, the Mini Spin 1200 lets you carry more line. So we're going to go ahead and equip that. It's also $100 cheaper than the Callisto. Now we need some line. The only line that we have is these 2-pound test lines, but at level 3 we unlock this 3-pound test. So we're going to go ahead and buy this 3-pound test, and it gets put in my backpack. The last thing you're going to want to do over here is go to lures, and you want to look at the ones you have unlocked here. You have slop spoons. Not a lot hits on them. Maybe you'll get some bluegill or some crappie. We're not too worried about those right now. What you really want to buy are these 2 casting spoons. So buy them, and they go in the backpack. These bass jigs work okay, but they cost a bait coin. We're not trying to spend bait coins because bait coins are rare and very sensitive. The last thing you're going to need to buy is you're going to go to Texas, and you're going to want to buy advanced license. Why? Because the basics license, you have to throw away all your spotted bass. And we really want those spotted bass. So we'll get the advanced license, $200, no biggie. Now we're over here in our inventory. This is our spinning setup. You put the reel on it, you put the 3-pound line on it. Go ahead and max that puppy out. 219 feet. Really good. And we're going to throw one of these spoons on it. Doesn't really matter. And now that you see that's green, it means it's good to go. You can cast it out. We are ready to go back to Texas. You can go to Missouri, but it's expensive. It costs money. We're going to learn what we're doing here in Texas. Travel to Texas. And we're at the lake. And we're going to go to this swampy exploration peg right here by the bridge. And we're going to go fishing. And as you can see in the peak chart, we are in the first set of peak hours. So go fishing. Come out here. Just come to the middle of the dock. And no, we don't want to do any more bottle fishing. We're learning our lures. Okay. Get the drag set up. That's probably good for now. If this is your first time casting these lures, you click, hold, and you cast out. There are 5 presentation techniques. The first one I'm going to show you is straight. Do about a reel speed 2. Start reeling in. Might need to go to 3. Yeah, on this reel you're going to need to do 3. And you see it's going straight. That means you're just pulling the lure straight through the water at a steady speed. Sometimes the bass will hit this, sometimes they won't. It's a little fast for the bass here in Texas, but they hit almost anything sometimes. The second one I want to show you is just about as simple, it's just a little bit slower. So we are going to cast back out. And if you look on the screen, you can see this mouse overlay shows you what buttons I'm clicking. So we're going to go back to a speed 2. And I start to reel in. And you see it says straight slow. This is just a slower version of straight, and it usually keeps it lower in the water column. So we're reeling in, sometimes the bass will hit it, sometimes it won't. How do you know if the bass is actually hitting your lure? Well, there's 3 types of strikes. Fish try to bite and escape. You'll see that in those first few levels, but afterwards, those don't come up. You look at these tension meters over here on the right. If you look very carefully, there may be just a tiny hint of blue at the bottom. When a fish actually bites your lure and you can set it, it will raise up just a little bit higher. Nothing on that straight and go. Straight and slow. So we are going to go cast out again. I'm going to show you the third presentation technique. This is called a stop and go. You let your lure hit the ground. About a reel speed 2, reel speed 3. I'm going to use a 3. You reel in about 5 feet, and you lower it down. You see how there's a hint of blue? That's fine. If it goes higher than that little hint of blue, that means the fish is biting it and you need to set the hook. So hopefully we'll get a bass to bite here in a second. And you can see what a hit actually looks like. So you just reel in 3 to 5 feet. Bring the lure off the ground, let it drop again. And that is a stop and go. And the gold may not be the best color because it's partly cloudy and it changes every day. So we may change to a silver here on the next cast, since I am not seeing a lot of bites. Those last 15, 20 feet, go ahead and reel it all the way in. We're going to change the silver lure. You can just double click or you can drag it over. Either way works. So we're going to change it to the silver and we're going to show you the next reeling technique. This one is going to be the lift and drop. I believe a speed 2 is going to work well here. So reel in the slack, lift with your right hand or your right mouse button, and reel in the slack. And you're just alternating. Right click to lift off the ground, let it drop, and reel in the slack. And that is the lift and drop. It's more important that the lure stays in the right part of the water column than you have the 3 circles perfectly presentations I've found. So this is all you do. Lift and drop. Lift and drop, reel in the slack. If it's starting to come up a little bit, just hold the right click a little bit longer, let it drop back down. Because the lift and drop has to hit the bottom of the water every time. I had a bite there, but I missed the hook. And we're at the end of the cast, so we're going to reel in. The final presentation technique is called twitching. Twitching is a lot like lift and drop, you just got to keep it off the bottom. So alternate right and left clicks, keeping it off the bottom of the lake. You can do a slow one like this, or you reduce your reel speed and you alternate faster. And I got a fish hook there. So we'll reel in this one. It's probably a tiny bass, maybe a... no, it's a bass. And on the twitching, I got my first spotted bass. So that is how you get bass and use lures in Texas. Every lure is pretty much the same. You may need to change the speed up a little bit, change how fast you're alternating clicks or you're clicking to keep the presentation up, but every lure has the same presentations. That goes for, as soon as I can open my inventory, here in the shop. That goes for jig heads and jig baits. That goes for bass jigs. And that goes for all your spoons, spinners, spinner baits. The only thing that doesn't show presentations are these crankbaits. But you don't have to worry about those until level 18 to 20, depending if you want to spend bait coins or not. And that's how you do lures in Texas and catch a bass. Hope that taught you something. Hope you learned something. Figure something out. There's a few ways to cheese it, and there's one other one that is not an official reeling technique, but some people, some streamers really like it. They call it the stop and shop. You do a reel speed 1. I may need to go to 2 because this is such a small reel. And you start reeling in just like slow, straight slow, and you hold right click to pull it off the bottom. And they call this the stop and shop. And they sometimes find this works best. I find it's hit or miss. Use what works for you. I find it's more important to keep your lure in the right part of the water column and have a presentation than to have a perfect presentation. So I hope that taught you how to use some reeling techniques. Maybe you'll learn what the stop and shop people talk about in streams on Twitch are. I just missed a fish there. And, catch some big ones. That's it for me. Let's chat with the first tutorial out.